Hi everyone, thank you for participating in our event. Welcome to the Portrait of the General activity. My name is Brennan and I hope that everyone is doing well today. Today I will be providing you with some information on George Washington. Along with providing you with that information, there is a file for you to download and print off that you can color while listening to this lesson, or you can wait until after the lesson to color the picture. Please ask your parents for help to download and print the file. It will be posted below this video on our event website. Also, make sure to pay attention because there will be a quiz on the lesson at the end of this video. If you wish to do well on the 10-question quiz at the end, it is recommended that you color your picture of George Washington at the end of this video. Before we start to learn about George Washington, we are going to do some brief, easy fitness exercises that can assimilate to the military physical fitness training that you can do inside your house. There have been many changes within the military since 1776, which was when George Washington was in his prime and was the general in the Revolutionary War. One big change that has happened is that there is a lot of physical training in the military now. This was incorporated because it is important for soldiers to be strong, fit, and in shape. Physical fitness within the military today is a very important thing because if you are going in a war, you want to make sure that you can give yourself the best chance of survival and also the best chance to win the war. In 1776, during the Revolutionary War, there was very little to no physical training within the military. Soldiers would volunteer to fight in the war. There wasn't a real structure for physical fitness during this time period. Soldiers would show up, practice their shooting, and that is about as far as their training went. I am a member of the men's gymnastics team at Penn State. On my team, we have to go through hard physical fitness training in order to have the most success amongst our team. I would compare this training to the structure of the military physical training. Some exercises you can do in your house to get an idea of what is needed in military physical training include push-ups, ab crunches, and burpees. I will be showing you a video demonstration of these fitness activities. The first fitness exercise we will be doing today is the push-up. Some key things to think about when doing a push-up is making sure your core is tight, which is your stomach right here, and also making sure you're bending your arms minimum of 90 degrees and trying to touch your chest on the floor, and then pushing up all the way to a straight arm position. We're going to be doing 10 push-ups together, and if you can do more than that, feel free to try to do more. If you cannot make 10, then try to do your best. And again, make sure your core right here is tight. You're bending your elbows minimum of 90 degrees, but try to get your chest on the ground every time you go down, and then push up to a straight arm position. Here we go. 1, 2. The second fitness exercise we will be doing is called a crunch. This is a core exercise that works your lower abs, which is located right here. This is similar to a sit-up, except you will not be sitting up all the way. You'll be sitting up about halfway, and that engages your lower abs a lot more. You're going to be walking your arms behind your head like this, and then sitting up. An important thing to know when doing this exercise is that when your arms are behind your head, you're not supposed to be using your arms to pull your body up. It's supposed to be engaging your abs. For this exercise, it is important to have your knees bent, your feet flat, and once again, when your arms are locked behind your head, you're not supposed to be pulling up with your arms. You're supposed to strictly be engaging your core muscles, which are your abs, to pull your body up. We're going to do 10 of these again. Once again, if you can do more than 10, feel free to do more if you wish. If you can't make 10, then give your best effort and try to work through it. Here we go. 1, 2. Pretty simple exercise, but it's really effective in working your core right through here. The third and final fitness exercise we will be doing today is called a burpee. It's a combination of doing a push-up and then pulling your feet in and then doing a squat jump up and then repeating the whole process over. Some important information to think about when doing this is the same when it comes to a push-up. Tight core, like I said earlier, making sure you're bending your arms 90 degrees at the minimum, trying to touch your chest on the ground, and then pushing up until they're completely straight. And then when you pull your feet in for the squat jump, you want to try to keep your chest up in a good athletic stance, and then try to jump up as high as you can, and then repeat the process. Once again, I will be doing 10 reps of this exercise. If you can make 10, great. If you wish to do more, go ahead and do it. If you can't quite make 10 or you're struggling, that's all right. And we're gonna get going. We'll be starting in a push-up position like this, and then here we go. 1, 2. Great job working on getting through those exercises. Those are some hard exercises that people are doing in the military. So if you can't quite do all of them or all 10 reps, that's completely all right. Continue to work on those exercises if you want to gain progress. Practice makes perfect, and I've been doing those exercises since I was about 6 years old. So now we will be moving on to facts about George Washington himself and facts about his crossing of the Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. For those of you that do not know, George Washington was famous for being our country's first president. Before our country became the United States of America in 1776, which is 244 years ago, our country was owned by a different country, which was Great Britain. George Washington was one of the most important people in the process of our country becoming its own country. Some interesting facts about George Washington and his crossing of the Delaware River include: Number 1, George Washington only had a grade school education. His formal education ended when he was only 11 years old. Number 2, George Washington crossing the Delaware took place on December 25th of 1776, which was also Christmas. Number 3, the crossing of the Delaware was successful because the British soldiers were up way too late partying for Christmas and they weren't prepared for the attack at all. Number 4, the British soldiers were actually German soldiers that Great Britain hired. Number 5, these German soldiers that were hired were called Hessians. Number 6, this battle was a surprise attack to get more supplies. This battle wasn't even planned to try to wipe out the enemy. Number 7, it was a hard and terrible journey across the Delaware River into Trenton, New Jersey. Number 8, many of the soldiers in Washington's army didn't even have shoes, so they were walking in the snow around Christmas time and their feet were freezing. Number 9, only 4 Continental Army troops died in the battle. The Continental Army is the army that George Washington led to fight off the British. Number 10, Continental Army was able to celebrate Christmas after the battle because the British Army, which were also known as Hessians because they were German, retreated. Number 11, this was the first major victory of the Continental Army that sent a message saying that they were not to be underestimated. Number 12, winning this battle gave the Americans hope of winning the war. Some important information to remember is George Washington was the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. The Continental Army was the army fighting off the British in order to gain independence from Great Britain. Hessians were German soldiers hired by the British in order to fight against the Continental Army. After giving you those 12 important historical facts, it is time for us to take our quiz. Please grab your pencil and a piece of paper and number down 1 through 10 in a straight line on the left-hand side of your paper. Next to question 1, write A, B, C, or D down for whatever answer you think is the correct answer. All right, hopefully everybody's prepared for the quiz, and we can begin now. Question number 1, at what age did George Washington stop going to school? Question 2, at what month did Washington cross the Delaware River in? Question 3. What year did Washington cross the Delaware River in? Question 4. The soldiers for Great Britain were hired from a different country. True or false? Question 5. The soldiers were called Hessians. True or false? Question 6. What season was it when George Washington crossed the Delaware River? Question 7. This was a known attack. The British Army knew that the Continental Army was going to attack. True or false? Question 8. How many Continental soldiers died in the battle? Question 9. What year did the United States become their own country? And the final question, what number president was George Washington? I hope you all did good on the quiz. I will now show the correct answers to each question. For question number 1, at what age did George Washington stop going to school? The correct answer was C, 11 years old. For question number 2, what month did Washington cross the Delaware in? The correct answer was A, December. For question 3, what year did Washington cross the Delaware River in? The correct answer was D, 1776. For question 4, the soldiers for Great Britain were hired from a different country. The correct answer was A, true. For number 5, the soldiers were called Hessians. The correct answer was A, true. For number 6, what season was it when George Washington crossed the Delaware River? The correct answer was C, winter. For question 7, this was a known attack. The British Army knew that the Continental Army was going to attack. The correct answer was B, false. For question 8, how many Continental soldiers died in the battle? The correct answer was C, 4. For question number 9, what year did the United States become their own country? The correct answer was A, 1776. For question number 10, what number president was George Washington? The correct answer was B, the first. Once again, I hope everyone did great on that quiz. I hope you all had a fun time learning some military exercises and learning about George Washington today, and I hope that you all learned at least one new thing that you didn't know before. Thank you for participating in this activity and our event, and I hope that your picture of George Washington turns out great. Also, remember that the portrait of George Washington for you guys to color is posted right below this video on our event website. Thank you for your time. Bye, and have a great rest of your day.